Allin. It's a very exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and it's an honor to speak to you. How is everything right now?
Everything's good. I'm taking it week by week. New stuff's popping up every week, so I'm on the edge of my seat.
Fantastic. Now, one of my favorite AEW matches since the promotion got underway was your match against Cody Rhodes, where you became the TNT champion. How special was the moment for you, especially Cody Rhodes getting down on his knee and offering you the title?
That moment was special because I didn't have to change anything about myself getting to that point. I made it 100% as Darby Allin. I didn't have to change who I was. Nobody messed with me, my character or anything like that. So to make it on top of the mountain as myself, there's no bigger reward. And to have Cody get down on his knee and hand me that championship was validation for all the hard work and matches that we've had in the past. And for him to do that was a good moment.
Fantastic. Now, even though I grew up halfway across the world from you in India, we had Nitro on every single week, and I was a little Stinger growing up. I want to know if that was your case as well. Were you a Sting fan?
I was a Sting fan, but I never watched WCW or any real wrestling like back in the day. But when I go back and watch it when I was a little older and stuff like that, Sting was one of those guys that captivated me as a performer. He has a lot of interesting traits in himself that I gravitated towards big time.
Fantastic. Now, when I mentioned that I would be interviewing you, a lot of our readers asked me to ask you this question, and this is the question on every wrestling fan's mind. Do you think Sting will ever wrestle again?
I have no clue. I don't know what his health's like. I don't know what he wants to do. But if he wants to get in the ring with me, step up. That's all I can say is I'm ready. If he's ready, I'm ready. But I have no clue if he's actually going to be ready. That's everything's up in the air.
Okay. Now, you mentioned your character, and I know how particular you are about your character. Do you think Sting as your manager could work?
Absolutely. But I don't know what his intentions are. I don't know if he wants to manage me. I don't know if I'm manageable. I don't know what, everything is week by week. Anything could change. I don't know. I've never had a full-blown conversation with him. Who knows? We might be complete opposites. You never know. So.
Okay, great. Final question on this topic, on this particular topic. We have seen Matt Hardy do a lot of wonderful things with the cinematic match. We know Sting isn't a young man anymore. Do you think Darby Allin versus Sting could happen in such an environment?
Like I said, if he's game, I'm game. I've never done a cinematic match, but if you look at my promos, I'm definitely up for the challenge. Great. And I guarantee I'd give the most crazy cinematic match of all time.
Fantastic. Okay, so now even that aside, it's a very exciting time to be a wrestling fan. We have a brand new world champion. What do you think of Kenny Omega as the face of the company?
I don't even know. I can't even really form an opinion on. Can't form an opinion on that guy. He's a hard worker, but I don't know, man. I have no idea. How he got there is a different story. But, I can't form an opinion on him.
But one of the developments that happened after Kenny Omega became the world champion is, we learned about some kind of a working relationship between AEW and Impact Wrestling. And, Darby Allin versus the Impact roster. If that happens, do you have your eyes set on anyone?
The only person I'd say is Ethan Page. Because 3 years ago, I stepped in the ring with him and he broke my elbow with a shovel, and I've never seen him since. So, Ethan Page, I'd love to step foot in the ring with him and finish some business.
Fantastic. Okay, so another thing that happened this past week was Shaquille O'Neal became a part of the pro wrestling landscape. Do you have any thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, I'd say it kicked ass. I want to see more crossovers with other forms of media and professional wrestling. I'm a big fan of all of that stuff. That's why I try to bring in Tony Hawk and Steve-O or Travis Pastrana. As much as these guys that get me hyped, I want to bring them into the world so all the other wrestling fans can see what they do. And that's all I feel about Shaquille O'Neal is, I'm hyped on it. I just want to see what goes down.
So you are okay with the idea of people who have never stepped into a ring before coming into your world and maybe bringing new eyes to the product?
Absolutely, because half the people in my world are complete jokes. Half the wrestlers are complete jokes that don't take it serious. So I would love to have someone else step in the world and take it serious and kick ass.
Okay. Which segues into my next question. So Jim Ross recently made some comments about certain acrobatic spots, and I would like to know your thoughts on it. I mean, if you have come across those comments.
I love Jim Ross and I agree with him.
Fantastic. Okay. Now, with you holding the championship right now and the whole AEW landscape is in front of you, who are some of the people that we have never seen you compete against that we could see you face?
Man, there's a long list, but I'd say on top of that list for a singles match is probably a guy like Kenny Omega, because I know I've never stepped in the ring with him and I want to see what the hype's all about. So.
Fantastic.
But I'd also love to find a tag team partner and fight FTR. That's another one.
Wow. And so now looking at you look at the pro wrestling landscape, there's been a monopoly for all of these years. I mean, obviously TNA was around and all of that, but how do you think AEW figures into the current wrestling landscape? And what is some kind of the feedback that you've received from fans?
Like the fans are seeing a product of people doing what they want to do and not being controlled. And it creates for some interesting TV, that's for sure. So you take a guy like myself or all the other younger talents like Sammy Guevara or Ricky Starks, and we're being able to create art the way we see it. So if you want to see unedited crap, come watch AEW, because there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Awesome. My final question, what can we expect from Darby Allin in the future?
I live a long, happy life.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time and I wish you all the best.
Yeah, thanks for having me.